Hi, I'm Alex Selwood, Partnerships Director at GFT. I'm delighted to be joined by Ashish Srivastav today, who leads all of our exciting growth in the insurance sector, and I'm excited to share the stage with him today to talk about all of the fun trends that we're seeing in the insurance sector. Welcome, Ashish.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Alex. Let me actually use this opportunity to talk about GFT first. I think that's the key thing, and then we'll of course talk about the insurance sector and what I have been doing there. GFT is a global system integrator. Of course, we have been working in 20 markets and is a 12,000 colleague kind of strength of our company, spread across 35 different countries. Now, in terms of our specialization, I think I would call it as a global digital transformation partner for all the large insurers spread across all the different geographies. That is what we have been focusing on. Of course, as a GFT, it is much wider than insurance. We do work on the financial services, on the manufacturing industry, everything. But from my perspective, insurance is the focus area. That is where I want to talk about. And in terms of insurance, frankly, we serve all the different lines of businesses, whether it is general insurance, whether it is commercial specialty, or it is a London market, or even frankly reinsurance as well. So across the length and breadth of insurance, something that we service, and across the value chain as well. Now, from value chain perspective, whether it is on the sales side, the core servicing of the policies, the claims, or even post-claim settlement, all the things, that's our focus area. And as I said, digital is the game that we have been focusing on, and that is what I want to talk about next.
So let's dig into the insurance sector a little bit more. Can you tell me a bit about the focus areas that you're seeing? What are you hearing from clients right now?
Sure, Alex, I would love to do that. Now, from the insurance perspective, frankly, last few years have not been very good. That's the honest assessment in the industry itself, particularly the fact that the combined ratios have been over 100% for, I would say, most of the lines of business there. Particularly that's true for the personal lines, but even in certain sectors of the commercial insurance as well, that's true. And the fact that combined ratio is over 100%, that means the underwriting performance is not good. That means you are effectively making a loss purely from the underwriting and the premiums that you're collecting. Of course, you have an investment income as well, which is something that insurance companies have been relying on. But even there, the fact that the interest rates have been pretty low for a very long time, that's also not something that actually leads to a sustainable business. And that is where the whole conversation has been happening in the industry. So what is it that the companies can do to first lower the cost, lower the claims losses, at the same time improve premiums in a way that actually leads to a sustainable business? Because of course, ultimately, it's a very competitive industry where particularly on the personal lines, it is all driven through price comparison websites. And that means the price is up there for you to compare and choose from. And that's the biggest problem that of course has been being faced by insurance companies for a long time. Now, at the same time, it also leads to certain opportunities for them. So yes, price is a certain complexity that they are working with, but at the same time, you have all the technological innovations that are happening in the market. Now, that certainly gives them levers, and that is where they are focusing on now. How can you use data? How can you use AI? How can you use technology to first improve your underwriting performance, have better pricing, have micro-segmentation, have hyper-personalization for your customers, so they actually feel that they are the valued customers individually, not just a data point among the population. The second thing is to reduce the claims losses. Now, claims losses, fraud is particularly one big concern that everyone has. Now, of course, fraud is nothing new. It has been in the industry since the industry existed. But the problem is the rise of AI actually is leading to further fraud, because now you can use AI to generate fraud and fraudulent images. I think that's a big problem. At the same time, the third problem, of course, where everyone wants to focus on, at the same time solve using technology, is cost. Now, operational costs have been increasing on an annual basis for a while now. Everyone knows in the market that inflation has been a big problem, and the whole cost of living crisis, and that certainly has had an impact in the insurance sector as well. Now, of course, that allows companies an opportunity where they can actually use a lot of automation. Now, automation doesn't mean that you actually reduce the workforce. It also means that you can actually better utilize your workforce where the value is, at the same time avoiding cost over long term. I think that's a big focus area. The other one is improving self-service, because most of us are now on our phones and people just want to use phones for everything. And that is both a kind of a positive as well as a negative for insurance companies. Positive, the fact that you can serve them where they are. Negative, because it certainly removes a certain human element there. So, but all in all, it's a positive from the customer perspective, and that is where the insurance companies are focused on. And that is where I would say the key focus is, and that's where everyone is working towards.
So it sounds like there are quite a few big, meaty focus areas in there. If you look out for the next 12 months, what are the key trends do you think that clients will really be focusing on?
Agreed. From the next 12 months perspective, I would say the first and the foremost is going to be AI. I think that's everywhere. Everyone is talking about it. And everyone realizes that it is coming. So it doesn't matter what you think about it. AI is coming. And all you can do is utilize the best way you can. And as I said, all the three topics that I just mentioned, whether it is on the cost challenges or premium challenges, I think AI certainly has a big role to play there. But of course, cost-wise, we spoke about how it can actually reduce the cost for you through automation. But more than that, it actually allows insurance companies to serve in markets where typically it would take maybe a week or a month sometimes as well to actually close the deal. And particularly I'm talking about here commercial insurance and the specialty line. Because yes, price comparison websites have made the whole personal lines far easier to engage with customers, not so much in the commercial and the specialty space, where still a lot is paper driven. You actually get huge chunks of paper just to kind of go through all the risk and everything, all the coverage. And that's where AI is something that can actually help. So that's where the biggest focus right now is. But beyond that, I would say digital. So yes, digital is something, certain areas are a bit ahead of others, but there are still many lines of business within insurance, particularly in the commercial space, for example, where digital can be better utilized, both from the engagement perspective and getting the data from customers to actually serving the customers of their customers as well. I would say that's again next something that is going to be quite a key focus area from customers' perspective. So AI and digital. And the last one I would say, again, purely from the insurance perspective in next 12 months is going to be regulation. More than regulation, I would actually call it as resilience, because just last week we saw what happened with CrowdStrike, right? So as we move towards a more technological future, fact is, yes, it provides a lot of value, but at the same time, it increases critical vulnerability. And I think that is something that everyone is worried about and everyone wants to protect. Because alongside that, then comes the regulation part of it. So if your claim system is down and someone needs to file a claim immediately, urgently because of a certain emergency, and if they're not able to do that, then what? So resilience and regulation actually go hand in hand. I believe that's again the third area which is going to be in focus with almost all the customers.
That's really fascinating. Thank you, Ashish. And just digging a little bit more into what we offer today, what are the most popular services that you're seeing insurance clients consume from GFT as of today? I know we've spoken about the future, but bring us a little bit back further into what you're seeing in the market now.
From GFT perspective, I would say there are three major focus areas which I'm seeing. So what I call is the data, digital, and automation. And now data, of course, we have been talking about the whole AI. To be able to create a proper AI-led strategy, you first need to solve the data fundamentals. And I think that's the key thing there. And that is where a lot of services that GFT is providing and a lot of interest from customers is also happening to us. To help them create a proper data transformation strategy, create a proper available and reliable data set for them, which also acts as a single source of truth, basis which they can then create their AI strategy. So I think that's the most immediate one where we are seeing a lot of traction. The second one is going to be the digital, because as I said, people want to enable self-service, people want to enable to serve customers where they are. And alongside digital, there's an element of core, because of course, unless your core is modernized and transformed, you won't be able to serve a proper kind of digitally to your customers. So that's the second one. So core transformation, core modernization, alongside that comes a migration to cloud, because that's the key thing. And using that then to enable digital channels and omni-channel support for your customers. The third bit that I talk about always is the automation. Now, once you have the digital solved, once you have the data solved, the third one is the automation. So you can have, of course, self-service enabled. Now, when I say automation, so of course, there are different elements to automation. So there's automation internally, there's automation externally. So internal is, of course, your process automation, workflow automation, where we are working with, of course, specific machine learning providers. We have our RPA partnerships where we are working on. Of course, we are working with specific providers like Guidewire, because who now enable automation within their core services. But at the same time, external one is where you actually enable customers to kind of perform their own activities themselves. So I would say these are the three ones where a lot of traction is, where of course we are getting a lot of leads and a lot of interest from our customers.
I think that's a really great segue into my next question. I'm very biased about this, of course, because it has to do with partnerships. We provide a lot of cutting-edge solutions to our clients in partnership with other organizations. From your perspective, who are the key partners that we'll be working with in the future and continue to work with across the market? Can you name a few?
Sure, Alex. And frankly, you have been quite helpful in creating the overall partner strategy for insurance for me. So really thank you for that. And as you said, so some of the key partners who I've been working with recently are, of course, Confluent. That's the first in my list. Then, of course, is Denodo. Then I have Guidewire for the core. Then, of course, from cloud perspective, I have Google and AWS who I've been working with. And beyond that, anyway, as I mentioned about resilience, so Palo Alto has been helping us there. So these are the main partners who I've been working with. And of course, it's an ever-expanding field. So in future, as and when we work on in a different segment of the value chain, of course, we will certainly be exploring further more partnerships there. But yeah, these are the ones which I've been working with. And frankly, partnership is key to success in this market because right now it's all SaaS and partner-led services that we are offering. So really thank you for the whole partnership strategy there, Alex.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ashish. Let's end on a positive note. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the successes that GFT is seeing in the insurance market?
Sure, Alex. I would certainly love to do that. Now, GFT, of course, as I mentioned, is a global company. So, and we have been servicing really large insurance customers across length and breadth of the world. So, whether it is Canada, whether it is in France, or whether it is in UK, and I'm talking about tier 1 customers, where we actually have been working with proper business transforming work with them, whether it is launching of new products, new categories, or modernization migration of the existing products to new platforms or to the cloud there, or even where utilizing what they have in terms of data, because insurance is all about data. It always has been, and they have data for some of the companies have data for last 100 years, even 200 years, frankly. The key thing is based on those data, we have been working with our customers to create data products now, which actually allow them to make and take real-time decisions. And I think these are the few success stories that I'll certainly like to talk about and mention here. Of course, can't take the name because of NDAs, but yeah, these are the key ones.
Ashish, it's been so insightful listening to you about everything that's happening in insurance. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm looking forward to all of the exciting work that is yet to happen.